Hi, Timothy Carlson here. Leading to the Criterion collection to make some great comprehensive sets of classic filmmakers' works. A few years back, Criterion gave the royal treatment to Ingmar Bergman, one of Sweden's all-time great filmmakers, and they've compiled his works into one big comprehensive box set. And believe me, I'm actually struggling to lift this a little. This is Ingmar Bergman's Cinema. I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinions. And we certainly have plenty to unbox here. Just a brief disclaimer ahead of time, this is not a set of every film Ingmar Bergman ever made. I think there are some legal snafus that prevent that from being done, but it is probably the majority of his filmed work. There's the cover art of the box. That's a scene from the film Persona. Here you can see the actual inner box contents. We'll take those out in a second. Top of the box is just plain. Here's the side, which of course reads Ingmar Bergman Cinema, and down there you got the Criterion logo. We have the backing card here. This has a chronological list of all of the films that are included in the set. They're actually arranged a little differently in the box. We'll get to that in just a minute. But yeah, I have a nice long description here, and then a list of some of the content that's included. Under the backing card, we have a shot of, I believe that's Ingmar Bergman himself. Criterion is always good at including booklets with their releases, but we don't just get a little booklet with Ingmar Bergman's Cinema. We get a pretty nice, pretty big, comprehensive book here. So it is good to see they went all out on this one. Great shot from the seventh seal of the cast together there near the end of the film. We get some nice, essays, descriptors of the films, great color and black and white photos. Some shots here of Fanny and Alexander. In the back, we have a chronological guide to the movies. And of course, in the back, credits. And then we come to the actual book-style structure that contains the movies themselves. So right here, you got that shot from the end of the seventh seal. I love the way that looks. There's the spine text, and I got this picture on the back. I believe that's Ingmar Bergman himself. Here's the inner cover. Here is the rear inner cover. Now, before I go any further, they actually have arranged these movies in a film festival viewing order, which I think is an interesting idea, but I don't think it should have been the viewing order forced on the viewer. If you're going to do comprehensive sets of an artist's work, they should always be arranged chronologically. Thankfully, they did give us a list of the films in chronological order, but the movies themselves in here are in that film festival order, so you might be struggling a bit if you're trying to watch everything chronologically. In many cases, we get more than one film on a single disc. I'm just going to take one disc out to show you what they look like, because I'm not going to take out each and every disc, since they all pretty much look the same. Most of the discs have two films on them. Some of the bigger ones will only have one film. But like right here, this is disc number 1, Smiles of a Summer Night. And as you go down, for each film, it gives you the year the film came out, the aspect ratio, the language, the runtime, the audio, and if it's a black and white film or a color film. So going down the list, again, disc number 1 is Smiles of a Summer Night. Disc 2 is Crisis and A Ship to India. Disc 3 is Wild Strawberries. 4 is To Joy and Summer Interlude. Disc 5 is Summer with Monica. Disc 6 is Dreams and A Lesson in Love. Disc 7 is the extended television version of Scenes from a Marriage. Disc 8 is the shorter theatrical version of Scenes from a Marriage and Saraband, which is its sequel and Ingmar Bergman's final film. Disc 9 features From the Life of the Marionettes and Hour of the Wolf. Disc 10 has Shame and The Passion of Anna. 11 is the documentary Faro Document and its sequel, Faro Document 1979. Disc 12 is Through a Glass Darkly. Disc 13 is Winter Light. Disc 14 is The Silence. Disc 15 is The Virgin Spring. And Disc 16 is The Seventh Seal, of course, Ingmar Bergman's best-known film. 17 is The Devil's Eye and All These Women. 18 is Sawdust and Tinsel and The Right. Disc 19 is The Magician. Disc 20 is The Magic Flute and After the Rehearsal. Disc 21 is The Touch and The Serpent's Egg. 22 is Persona. 23 is Thirst and Port of Call. 24 is Cries and Whispers. 25 is Waiting Women and Brink of Life. 26 is Autumn Sonata. 27 is the extended television version of Fanny and Alexander. Disc 28 is the shorter theatrical version of Fanny and Alexander. Disc 29 is The Making of Fanny and Alexander. And the 30th and final disc is additional supplements. On this side, we have an alphabetical index of all the films as well as what disc you'll find them on. In honor of Ingmar Bergman's 100th birthday, the Criterion Collection offers this comprehensive collection of films by the great director. One of the most revelatory voices to emerge from the post-war explosion of international art house cinema, Bergman was a master storyteller who startled the world with his stark intensity in pursuit of profound questions, the struggles of faith and morality, the nature of dreams, the agonies and joys of human relationships. He explored these subjects in works ranging from comedies with brooding hearts to groundbreaking formal experiences and excruciatingly intimate dissections of family life. Ingmar Bergman's cinema arranges a film festival with opening and closing nights, bookending double features and centerpieces span 6 decades and 39 films, including 18 never before released by Criterion, including themes like images across Bergman's career and blazing trails through this peerless body of work for longtime fans and newcomers alike. I picked this set up during one of the Barnes & Noble Criterion sales. Normally the set retails for about $300, but I managed to get it for half price when that sale was going on. Definitely one of the best deals I've gotten on a comprehensive Criterion box set. And prior to this, of course, the main film that I knew Ingmar Bergman for was The Seventh Seal, the one that I think everybody knows, of course featuring the classic imagery of a knight playing a life-or-death game of chess against the Grim Reaper, something that's been lampooned in plenty of comedies and paid homage to more than a few times. But if that's the only thing you know about Ingmar Bergman, that's truly sad because his collection of work really speaks for itself. He's got just an amazing and diverse array of movies covering many subjects. A lot of the earlier, older black and white films actually revolve around working class folks, usually in like maritime environments, just dealing with their daily relationships and personal tragedies. You have everyone from fishermen to professional musicians to models. And one thing that really surprises me about Ingmar Bergman is how well he's actually able to write female characters. I mean, there's a film called Waiting Women in this collection that revolves around a group of women waiting for their husbands and respective lovers to return, and they're recounting past experiences. You look at a movie like Summer with Monica, which actually revolves around two young lovers going on a runaway whirlwind romance during the summer, but actually dealing with the harsh aftermath that follows this up. I love Ingmar Bergman because the guy certainly understood humanity, but he also wasn't afraid to look at the darker side. I mean, elements like affairs are actually quite common in this collection. In some cases, they're actually the center points of their respective movies. But this covers, everything from his early films back in the 1940s right up to Saraband in 2003, the sequel to Scenes from a Marriage, which became his final work. That's 39 movies in this collection, and both Scenes from a Marriage and Fanny and Alexander have their theatrical versions as well as their extended television versions. So it's about as comprehensive as Criterion could possibly make it. Again, this does not include every movie Ingmar Bergman has ever made, but that said, I am amazed by what we have here. I mean, everything from slice of life to adaptations of Mozart works. It's about as diverse as you can possibly imagine. If you're looking to get into foreign language cinema, the works of Ingmar Bergman are certainly an excellent place to start. Ingmar Bergman's cinema is certainly one of the biggest and most comprehensive collections of films I've ever purchased. Criterion spared no expense here. And if you can get this one for half off during one of Barnes & Noble's Criterion sales, I very highly recommend it. This is a super comprehensive set. I will admit not every movie in this collection is great. Some of these I admittedly did struggle to get through. Some just weren't for me, but the hits outweigh the misses. Bergman was certainly a great filmmaker, and he's sorely missed. Being that this is a set consisting of 39 different films, 2 of which have different cuts of the movies as well, picture quality is understandably going to vary from title to title, but for the most part, I was very impressed by how good these movies looked. It's clear these have actually gotten newer masters. If you look at the opening titles, usually they show a Swedish film industry bumper, and then they show the Swedish title of the film and something that explains like when and where it was restored. So it's good to see that these movies did get the royal treatment they deserved in time for Ingmar Bergman's 100th birthday. The early black and white films, I think, are actually probably the best looking ones in the collection, looking pretty sharp and detailed, but having that natural grain structure intact too. And then you look at something that came much later, like Fanny and Alexander, which is a color film, but the colors pop right off the screen, the detail's intact, and again, natural film grain is there as well. Picture quality understandably varies from film to film. Some look better than others, and of course, some movies have optical effects that understandably aren't ever going to age the best. But for the most part, I'm very impressed with how all of these look. A lot of the movie discs actually have supplemental features on them as well, including, in some cases, introductions to the films by Ingmar Bergman that were filmed in 2003, just a few years prior to his death. And a lot of the movies have, commentaries and, special features that include people who worked with Bergman, film scholars, film critics, enthusiasts of Bergman's films. You'll see a lot of familiar faces pop up in some of these, and it just goes to show how diverse and widely explored his work is. And then you even have a disc of additional supplements that has, featurette on Bergman, featurette on, Sven Nykvist, who was largely his cinematographer over the years, and a whole lot of other stuff. You get, several unseen things in these bonus features, but you also get a lot of older stuff as well, and it's good to see Criterion brought all this together. Are you a fan of Ingmar Bergman? Did you pick up this set from Criterion yet? What's your favorite film the guy ever made? Have you only seen The Seventh Seal so far? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content. I'm always posting new videos, and make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. See you next time.